I want to show you one of my favorite swing trade setups, and I just used it for my election trade, which went really well. But really, unless I'm completely mismanaging my entry or exit, this one has been a very reliable moneymaker for me. So I have the SPY daily chart pulled up. So these are all daily candles, and I can trade this completely from the daily chart, which is pretty cool, but you can go down to a lower time frame for entries if you'd like. But all I do, this is so crazy simple. I think this is why I haven't thought to share this before, but I just have a few indicators on here. This is the Keltner channels in gray. It's a 2 ATR Keltner channel and a 3 ATR Keltner channel. And instead of using the midpoint that's built into the Keltner channels, I have a 21 EMA. And if you're more comfortable with an SMA or a 20 period, I think those can probably be substituted, but the general idea is you need some sort of midpoint in the Keltner channel. So that'll get the midpoint is giving us the middle of that range, and then the Keltner channels are giving us the extreme of the range. And then the other thing I have on here is a 200 SMA. And what I use this for is just the general trend. It's the very most basic way we can see which way the market's trending. So when we're in an uptrend, so the price is above the 200 SMA, all I do is I look for price to dip into the 2 to 3 ATR Keltner channels, and I'll buy it down here. And in this one, this is a little scary to buy down here, so a lot of times I will wait for it to come back into this range before I start buying it. But I will buy SPY options in this zone down here in the 2 to 3 ATR Keltner channel. At those extremes, and then I'm going to target the midpoint. So in this case, it's the 21 EMA, and then my runners, I'll target these other, the opposite side of the Keltner channels. And you can see how often that this works out. So again, here the price dips down. This would have been the ideal day to buy it, but it even gave another chance over here. And sometimes it can be scary holding through this, and that's why I always take a large chunk of my position off when we get to that center point, or at least close to it. But this is the buy zone. Buy down here and target the 21 EMA, and then again the opposite 2 to 3 Keltner channels on the other side. And in this instance, so if the SPY was down here and we were looking to buy it in this range, that's going to be around 540. And then what I would be targeting at this EMA would be about 550 here. And then at the time of entry, the target up here would have been about 560 to 565. So ideally what I'll do is I'll get some, I want these calls to go in the money. So if I'm looking at 550 as my target, I want to get some call options below that strike. So 545 call for SPY would be ideal. And sometimes the options can be kind of expensive. Ideally, I'd like to hold that 545 all the way through to the 2 and 3 ATRs. But if I can't, I'll buy this contract, this 545 down here, or this 545 down here to hold up to this point. And then I'll have these runners be something cheaper, like in this case, maybe the 560 calls. So I'll show you what I did for this election play. Sometimes you can play it off of the midpoint, but this is a little more risky because a lot of the time we will end up with a pullback through it. So if the market's super bullish and you can get that sense some other way, you might be able to buy the 21 EMA, but really I like to buy this when we're in this negative 2 to 3 ATR area. So for the election play, what I did is I was watching I was watching the ES levels because that's kind of my where I like to watch everything. But then I hopped over to the SPY chart to get a closer look at it. And basically the SPY and the ES charts will do basically the same thing. So I was watching this level down here, and when we got down into this area, I just went and double checked so to make sure I'm not lying to you which options I used here. But on Monday, when we came down into this 2 to 3 ATR range, I bought some call options, and what I bought was the 576 calls because that would have been right when that went in the money around the time we were hitting the 21 EMA. And then my runner was the 583. So that went, this but before this range got extended up here, the 583 was that 2 ATR area. So I was planning on that being in the money. Fortunately, I held both of those through this entire gap up, so that play worked out really, really quickly. All the times I'm managing this through multiple days. But the election kind of sped that up a bit for me. Thank you. But I'll show you how this looks on some of the other charts. So here is an Apple chart. And you can see it does the same thing. We're in that area a couple days ago there too. Okay, reset this chart so it's a little bit easier to see, but you can see when it dips down into that 2 to 3 ATR 𝗂𝓪𝓵 channel area, that's always a really good buy zone. Sometimes you'll have some things that like to kind of go outside the extremes of it. I think Tesla does. Let me pull up. You'll see Tesla will often go into the extremes. I like to swing Tesla options as well. So with Tesla in particular, I'll usually wait for it to cross outside of that 3 ATR 𝗂𝓪𝓵 if I'm going to play some options on this. But that's it. I've got another EMA on here too. I think that's an 800. That's for a different strategy. But it's really that simple, and it works time and time and time again. I will always buy some sort of SPY play when I'm down here in this area. So it did really, really great on the account today. I will continue doing it, and I hope y'all enjoy it. Let me know if you make some money with it. Love you. Bye.